So, I'm Sandi from Stillwater. Over a year ago, I addressed the board and shared my concerns about the blame being placed on everyone but the district itself for its declining enrollment, specifically that your financial woes lie at the feet of your non-captured students. As many of you know, I have 4 such products. I'm sure you've seen them around. While my children do not attend your schools, you have been the subject of many of our lessons over the past year. Do you remember when the superintendent answered the concerns of the capture rate by assuring you that those of us who don't currently choose 834 schools would be wowed by the new programming and stuff? Then the trust and inevitable enrollment would be earned through watching it all in action. Well, we've been watching and reading and listening, and it's not working. Recently, the board chair described the last year of very significant events and discoveries as an unhappy turn of events, for which the finance director is the most recent guilty party. She's not the only one. Let's review the last year of unhappiness, shall we? In no specific order. We watched you conduct closed-door meetings without thinking through the laws restricting that. So then you got sued for it, so then you did it again, repeatedly. We watched as you manufactured and rolled out a fictitious North versus South war to distract from the fact that you've been leaving problems unaddressed for years, while still giving generous raises to your admin-level buddies with cash sitting in the bank. Privilege was not the problem. Your lack of action was the problem. We learned about you scaling back on special ed because DMC said so, which then resulted in a broken law regarding IEPs and not protecting children with deadly seizures. Priorities, right? We learned that even though you moved those 9th graders up and built that new additional wing costing millions of dollars, it was realized you don't actually have enough classrooms. So here comes the teachers on carts, but you sold it as like kind of a college experience. That's neat. We listened and read as you paid $30K for a survey and then decided you didn't actually like the answer, so you ignored it, and then you did that again. We watched as a 7-figure math mistake was blown off as a rounding error. Don't forget the lead in the water, the dangerous and toxic levels of lead within the schools that you kept from parents until it was exposed on mainstream media. All the while, the capture rate fell even lower as families fled the shipwreck we're seeing here today. No loss, though. Your finance director schooled us with her straight-line math as to how worthless those products are anyway.
Just a second before you go on. I think I said at the beginning that you may not identify individual staff or individual students in your presentation. If you want to use administration, you can do that.
Okay.
But please don't identify individual staff or individual
Can you just
students.
add that to my time? Thank you. A board member also proudly referred to Speaker Jim Bearden to minimize the very real and legitimate concerns that the majority of the community share for honest, legal, and ethical behavior from our district as a few unhappy citizens, whose opinions are of actually no concern. I wonder if in the 6 days it took to come up with that deflection of the City Page's investigation, that board member listened to more of Jim Bearden's talks, namely the one regarding accountability. Mr. Bearden says we need less victimhood and more accountability. He defines accountability as the acknowledged ownership of all choices we make and all the consequences those choices produce. Not just taking credit for the good results, but also for the setbacks. The blame game of I was just doing what I told is not accountability. He says with true accountability comes the ownership of obligation to correct, learn from, and avoid future setbacks. I have yet to hear that from this outfit. Actually, the board has just used the Pony News as its very own personal opinion piece, in which the board has absolved the administration any responsibility for underhanded dealings. The same has been done over the past year while blaming those who came before them, those who opposed them, or those who challenged them, or what have you, like a victim. The response is that this board administration are doing exactly what they were hired to do. So my pressing question is, what exactly are you hired to do? Was it to represent the constituents whom you beg to serve, or just the ones who are in your current fan club? Maybe it was to represent the administration and rubber stamp their ill-advised plans. Perhaps to publicly chastise those who challenge your actions or lack thereof. Was it to listen to those voices or do better by them? Maybe to assert your self-appointed supremacist claim that you know what is best for students and that their parents do not. There were a couple of board members at that meeting at Caribou, May 24th. Or should it be to put the needs of those students above your own, respecting that parents are actually the experts on their children? This community deserves respect that is foolishly given to your overpriced consultants who are currently and selfishly advising you to rip this district apart, give up our local control, and smear your own name for their profit. Should 834 decisions really be made by strangers in Boston? They won't remember your legacy, but we certainly will. All this is happening on your watch, and your capture rate are just, the bold and your capture rate are just symptoms of the cancerous arrogance that is growing in this board and administration, and yet you've promised bold is just the beginning. We're a lot more than unhappy, and it's metastasized well beyond the closing of 3 schools. The next election is just 1 year and 8 months away, and I hope you're up for the challenge. Until then, we'll be watching you, and I'll remind you that you are a public servant. Let's remember who it is you serve. It's not DMC, it's not EMID, it's not admin, it's not limited to your fan club, and you're not paid to reduce our children to test scores or data points, nor work out your personal agendas. You are here to serve the public. That would be us and the students. There they are.